Welcome. I'm Diane Yellow Light, a certified psychic. And today I'm going to talk about as my series to ladies, females, gentlemen, men. Learning to know yourself today and in these times. There has been so much self-help books in the last 20 to 30 years that everybody knows about themselves today. There isn't anybody standing on this earth that doesn't know in some level about their inner id and who they are. We're way too educated for that in this time frame. Now, do we have eyes that don't want to see? Of course. Do we have eyes that don't want to know? Of course. Do we have ears that don't want to hear? Of course. Do we have a heart that doesn't want to feel it? Of course. Are we sure of our soul age? Not really. Not anybody works with their soul age that much anymore, of what's in their soul, not in their heart or in their ego. If you know yourself very well today, and you stay calm of who you are in your astrology of who you are, into your belief systems of who you authentically are, not what you have been totally taught. Remember, there's a lot of things that were taught in our images and in ourself that did not come from authentic information. It came from survival. We don't need to be in survival today. I mean, we may be thinking that we are in terrorist survival, and that may be true and it may not be true. But the biggest concern is our own survival. What are we doing in our own survival today? Are you just existing? No wonder you're unhappy. Nobody can just exist. If you exist, go to work, blah, 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 blah. You come home, you exist, blah, 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 blah. You sit in front of the TV or whatever your device, blah, 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 blah. Then you go to bed and you get up, blah, 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 blah. What is that? That's existing. That's not what we were given. We were given a power to co-create and examine our life. Yeah, this is hell right now. We are in hell on earth. And it is your responsibility, gentlemen and men and ladies and women, to co-create and get yourself out of hell and into heaven. And heaven is when we find peace within ourselves. And I'll guarantee you, as long as I know my name, and I will cross that road one day too, that when you transcend from this side to the other side, you're going to understand that your heaven was right here. And however you created it here is how it's going to be when you come to an energy form of when you leave. Because whatever energy form you've attached to, it goes with you. And that will be your hell, but it is not the hell that everybody's thinking about, believe me. So it's preventative. We're given free choice of will and the opportunity at this time frame to be able to co-create with ourselves and create what we want out of ourselves so that we can say we lived a happy, balanced life. We gave to people, we shared with people, we gave to ourselves, we let ourselves do things, we let others do things. We were free, we trusted, we loved, we continued to love, we continued to nurture, we continue on. But not if we have a bank account in our spirituality that says zero. It won't work. And there is nothing that can get transferred into a zero bank account with spirit. Spirit takes nurturing every single day, finding out where you're at, who you're with, who you want to be, what you want to be, how you want to treat others. You know, the best thing to do, if you know that somebody's a, you know what that means, I am sure, then treat them nice. Say hello. Be kind. Don't be condescending. Don't play their game. Don't give them what they want in self-destructiveness. You know, when you meet that dot of that soul at that moment, your responsibility to them is to respond with love. And that doesn't mean you turn the other cheek. That means that you give something genuinely love to that person. You give them a dot of sanity, a dot of love, a dot of moment, a dot of meaning. You know, and a lot of times we think, oh, why bother? It never works. Man, who do we know? Are you judge and jury here? How do you know what goes on into another person? And besides, that is what nurtures you. That's what makes you grow and go. So why wouldn't it help somebody else? And you don't think in the world that to some other people you're an AA at times? Oh yeah, you are. You are definitely one of those. We're all one of those. We all have that negative, mean, destructive, I don't give a care, entitlement attitude. It's part of the deal here being on earth. It is your responsibility to not feed into it. It is your responsibility to put it in its perspective. It is your responsibility to not pass it on. There are no good guys in this life or good girls in this life at this time frame. There has never been, because we all have a shadow side to ourselves. That's the dichotomy of positive and negative. If you don't know what a shadow side is, then go into some psychology and you'll find out what it is. When we get into criticalness, we become our shadow side. When we stay in physical balance, we don't go there because we know it's not a healthy place to be. But right now, so much concept has been lost in that aspect. Nobody wants to put the time in. Oh, it's so much easier to just dot yourself with a little frosting here and a little frosting there and then be happy. It's not true, because every day you go to bed, your soul aches. And the more you get away from your spiritual connection of who you authentically are, the more empty you feel, the more empty you get, the more detached you become, the more detached you become, becoming like a machine. Do you want to be a machine? You know, there was a joke a long time ago that machines were going to replace humans. Well, they have a lot. But you know what? They can't replace the humans in everything, and that is humanness. And what are you going to do someday? And I always think that this could be happening. What if they create a machine and a mechanical person that has a heart and soul, and you don't? How ironic is that? You got it naturally, and you can't even get it vibrating to the highest vibration of love. It doesn't matter if somebody does something nasty to you, smile. What does it matter? You have to have power and upmanship and ownership and all that kind of stuff. That's why it's very important to know thyself. You must really know thyself, not pretend to know yourself or what somebody says you are. You authentically have to know who you really are. Do we all have the virtues that we can fall to of lying and cheating and stealing and manipulating and using and abusing and disrespecting? You betcha. And there isn't a soul on this earth that doesn't walk through some of that every day in their life, because it's called human. But do you have to live by it by rule? No. Can you be responsible for when you do fall into that trap and do it and own what you do? Because every time you own something you do, you stop doing it. You become aware. But every time you deny it, then there changes something ugly inside of you. And then you get to the point that you do it more and you're going to deny it more. And then you end up just destroying yourself and others that want to be in your love. So it's very important that you come back to the authentic part of you. Do you know what that really means? Do you know what that really is? If you don't in this time frame, then you are way behind. And you best start building up that aspect of your inner soul so that you do know. Because when we do know authentically who we are, and if somebody calls us a liar or a thief or a cheater or a manipulator or power or whatever it is, insane, it doesn't even matter what it is. If we know who we authentically are and are at heart base with it, not into that ego falsity, then we will stop what we're doing and have forgiveness for self and forgiveness to others. And we can admit, you know what? I lied. I was human. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Then keep your commitment. Keep your commitment. You're the one that's responsible to what you do and don't do. And you know what you're doing before you do it, if it's right or wrong or will hurt or won't hurt you or another. So there's no more dummies in this world. There's denial, big time. So if you know yourself authentically, get out of denial. When you're out of denial, the answers will be there. And you'll learn to co-create with yourself, which is number one key, and then learn to co-create with others. And if they don't want to co-create with you, then those people need to be with the other people so they can play their dance of insanity until they get it. And it's not up to you or I to know when they get it. It's up to their time frame and divinity to when they get it. It doesn't matter if they're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. The point is we have a whole lifetime to get who we authentically are and live by that rule and create heaven in ourselves on earth. We have a lifetime unless something cuts it short, and those things do happen. And we've all had a card of decks that have not been so good, some worse than others. But remember, you created it in some way. You came in here to live it out. So have the guts, have the, I'm sorry, but I got to say this, the balls to do what you need to do in order to come back to your authentic self. It's not that hard, guys. It's a little dot every day makes a big difference. But of course, when you let it accumulate for years and years and years, and then you go digging, of course, ouch, it's going to hurt. It's just like anything that happens to us on a physical level. We get it owie, it hurts at the beginning, but it heals right away because we leave it alone and we let it heal. We let it be. We let it grow and heal, and we let divinity heal us. So divinity can heal our souls as well. So open up your hearts to whatever energy field and get out of fear. If you're doing this because you fear hell, or if you do this because you fear life, or you fear being bad, or you fear, whatever it is, you are on the wrong track. Because that's not coming from heart, and that's not coming from who you authentically are. So I ask each and every one of you to go above in your circumstances and create your life at this time frame. Know who you are authentically. If somebody asked me today who I am, I could definitely tell them many things of who I am without a shadow of a doubt. And I know they're in my heart, and I know they're true. I can also tell you the things that I am that are ego in my heart too as well, because we're always working on ego. But I definitely know I can agree. I can agree with the people that see those kind of things. And that's why we have each other, so we can see ourselves, so we don't get off track. So I ask you today, dig deep inside of who you are, find your authentic self, take all the good things out of it, all the things that are not so healthy for you or others, heal it, let it go, let it be. Create anew. And I always find when you're a greedy person, learn to give, 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 give. You may be giving because you want something back. You may be giving for all the wrong reasons, but give, 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 because eventually someday you'll come to the terms that you're giving because you want to. It's very simple. We always have to fake it till we make it in almost every single thing we do. But we have to stay focused and committed to our authentic self. And don't demand and command other people enjoy what our authentic self is. They have a right to have their own deal. But that doesn't mean that we throw them out, put them down, change them, or anything like that. Ladies, stop changing men. Change yourself. Do yourself a favor and work on you to your authentic self. Men, quit trying to put women down. Give them your heart and your soul. Open up. They're not your enemy. You're your own enemy. Let go. Let go of your own self-destruction. So today, I'm going to ask each and every one of you to try on this new rule that we're coming into and make it work. Work it till it works. It eventually does. If you work it for a few minutes and then give up, that's nothing. That's going to make you feel worse. So be authentic and get through who you authentically are. And if you want to live as an A or whoever else, then go do it on your own. Find an empty island, men and women, whoever, by yourselves. Live in your own group of people so you can beat each other up and rip each other off and ego each other to the point that you're nothing. That's fine, but don't do it to everybody in the world, because that's not the way people are. It's not the way it's meant to be. So until next time, I ask each and every one of you to go above and beyond your circumstances. And I know you can and you will, starting today, because you're in part of the new co-creation of life. And I send you love and light and life to do so. Until next time, I'll be talking to you soon about more new rules. Bye-bye.